What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. This is Jasmine here. So I am about a week and a half post my mission trip, and so I know that I posted the video before just about like my initial feelings about the trip and everything that I kind of experienced, but I just wanted to do like a regular check-in with you video with you guys just to say what's up and see how you're doing. So that's what we're going to do. I haven't been feeling really good at all since I got back. I've actually been pretty sick. I did eventually go to the doctor like a week after things were not going back to normal. I got to the doctor, so we ran tests and everything like that, so I'm just waiting for the results. So I'm home right now. I'm just relaxing and trying to like pull myself together. So today I decided to get up, take a nice detox bath. My husband was like, lay in the bathtub, do some Epsom salt, like get your life together, and you know, it may help you feel better. So decided to do that, and I figured, why don't I come on here and do that with you guys, because I want to be as transparent as possible about my trip and all of the aspects, because I'm sure you'll have questions. So we're just gonna do a like get my life together after the mission trip. So if you're interested in checking this video out and also hearing about my trip, then keep watching. Okay, so I just got out the shower. My braids are wet, so I think I'm gonna start with my hair. So my braids have been in for a week before we left, or a few days before we left. So it's almost July. So my braids have only been in like maybe 3 weeks, but I have like run my braids into the ground, you guys. Normally my hair does not get like this frizzy until maybe like a month and a half in, but I've kind of been going crazy. So I'm just gonna try to bring them back to life. I'm gonna use this Macao leave-in conditioner on my roots and everywhere else just to add some moisture. My hair is so dry, and I also got a little bit of color in here, and I know that color tends to like obviously stand out. My hair is dark brown under my braids, so I've got a mix of like darker and lighter colors. So I'm trying to keep this as hydrated as possible because I know that this can look raggedy real quick. Okay, so just FYI, you guys, I do oil my scalp at night or every day, but oil is not technically moisture for your hair, so you actually need to moisturize it. So I washed it, and I left actually some leave-in conditioner by Main Choice in my hair already, but I'm just adding a little more to my roots to make sure I didn't miss anything. So this is going to serve as the actual moisture, the water and the leave-in. Now I'm going to go in with my Melanin Hair Care multi-use oil, which is really nice. That fell. Which is really nice. I have 2 of these, so I'm going to go in with this to seal in the moisture. So let's talk about my mission trip. So now it's been past a week since I've been home now, and I'm still kind of processing everything. Like it's been really weird for me. Like my husband is a walk on the bright side, see the bright side of everything type person. I can be a little cynical. That's a good and a bad thing. I just happen to be, I pay attention to everything. My husband looks for the good in everything. I look for what is actually there in everything. So, at times I can definitely be cynical. And with this mission trip, like I've kind of struggled with it, because when you go to another country and you just experience a different way of life, I think first and foremost, it has to make you like grateful. You're just grateful, first of all, for the opportunity. Like, thank you, Lord, for safely getting me somewhere new to experience a different group of people. That's first. Then you're grateful because, especially if you're American or you live in any country that is like technically, you know, prosperous, you just realize, I think, in it you see it face to face, and you're not able to run for it or flip the channel when you see that someone else's life is not like yours. And I think it just makes you more grateful for what you have. Even if you don't have a lot, you just become more grateful because you see that you have a lot more than a lot of people. So that was the first thing. But the second thing that set in is that, you know, I started to, well, not even started to, before we started this mission trip, originally we were going to go to Haiti. So I started to do research on Haiti and just kind of where it's at, and understanding the climate of Haiti and what they've gone through for centuries, decades, years upon years, not just at the hands of their own government, although their own government is guilty of a lot, but at the hands of other countries, the US, England, Spanish countries, Britain, basically any country that was, and every country that was involved in like slavery at the time when they were rebuilding, when US was like kind of being brought up, and when other countries were going to look for resources out, you know, Columbus and all of those great people, aka murderers, when they were going out to look for different countries, they went to the countries and they basically killed a lot of people. They infested their countries with a lot of sicknesses and illnesses from wherever country they came from. They stole a lot of the resources. They took over a lot of land. They exasperated countries of their resources. The list is so long, but I encourage you guys to go learn that history. That's the history that they're not going to teach you in school. Instead, we're going to keep getting force-fed the same old list of this is who's alive to tell the story, and this is how we choose to perceive it. So back then, basically Haiti just got it really, really bad. So that is the reason why Haiti is in the situation it is in. Although their government has done a lot of things, there are a lot of things that happened previous to that has made Haiti's situation so much worse. So when I started to do the research on that, I was just really sad for the country. I was disappointed that the place where I'm from did that to other countries. You just have this long list of like feelings. You start to get frustrated and wondering like what kind of history we're actually learning and why we're not really being told these things. Long list of things. So I just went there and I really hurt for those people. I did meet immigrants while I was there. I'm going to put a scarf on my head really quick to cover up these. Actually, I'm gonna do my edges first, and then I'm gonna put a scarf on. So I did meet immigrants, and I met illegal immigrants while I was there, and just to see the pain on their faces, see what they've gone through, see why they chose to run from the country that they were in to try to obtain a new life, it really hurt me. It rocked me. And I think about what's happening in the US right now, and it just makes me sick to my stomach. So yeah, it was just a lot. It's a lot to take in. And in America, we see poverty. You know, we have ghettos here. We have poor people. We have homeless people. We have plenty of people around us that are going through things, but it's just nowhere near the level of poverty that we saw in the Dominican Republic. So just seeing children being affected, seeing kids graduate from high school and like, what do I do now? Like, I don't have any opportunities. And then to think about, you know, the resources that are wasted here, to think about the opportunities that are given to kids in America, and how we waste them, how we waste our opportunities for education. You know, a lot of students in high school, let me lay these edges down, guys, I'm really messing it up. A lot of students in high school, you know, like that's their time to like rebel, and you know, many kids just kind of whatever about high school. They just don't even care about their free education. And they don't really think about it when they think of, wow, I'm so blessed to have the opportunity to think about that. You don't think about it until you encounter someone who is not able to obtain free education, not able to learn how to read. When you meet somebody that's 80 or 90 years old that doesn't know how to read, and that hasn't had an education, you don't realize that what we do have, although by far we're not perfect, is still tremendously larger than a lot of other places. So it was really hard to take in, guys. But when I tell you that the people were just like so friendly and loving, and they would open up their home to you, and our translators would say like, hi, there's some missionaries here, they have some questions for you, you know, they want to know about your life, they want to know they want to know if you know God, obviously. They want to know if you need help fixing anything. And they just like open the door and they're like, yes, come in. We'd love to have you. They're really open and honest and just very genuine, caring people. And I really love that about them. And although they had a very small community that was poverty stricken, it seemed as though everyone kind of looked out for everyone. Like, you know, there were kids that were just roaming the streets, and they would be like, 2 and 3 years old, and you'd be like, where are their parents, or like, why is there a 1-year-old just sitting out here and like nobody paying attention? And they're like, oh, he's fine, his parents are off trying to find work or trying to get money or trying to find a way to get food, so the baby's here, but the baby's fine because the community is taking care of them. So it was just so drastically different, because in the U.S., if you left your kid below the age of 12 at home for longer than 15 minutes, somebody would call the police and and take your kid in. So it was just different. There were stark differences between the U.S. and between the way that they were living. It's just a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, and I wanted to be extremely cautious about not being ignorant to the point to where just because our lifestyles are different, that meant that my life or our lives were technically better, or the way that we do things are technically better. Because there are a lot of things that I saw that they did that I thought were better than us. I thought that they used their resources better. I thought they were, more community based. They took care of each other, looked out for one another. They all knew each other. The neighbors spoke to one another and had relationships. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I kind of laughed because I was like, I don't even know my neighbors back at home, So there are definitely things that they valued that were totally different from us. Whereas America, I think we value things, like monetary things, a lot. And it just wasn't like that there. They valued family, community, hard work, education, just a lot of things that we take for granted here. So I absolutely loved our trip. It was a blessing, but it also just made me take a really hard look at myself. I'm using the Paula's Choice Pore Reducing Toner with niacinamide because my face is broken out. So let's talk about what's going on with me since I've gotten back. So since I've gotten back, I've just been really sick. I haven't been feeling well, but I've also been like emotionally exhausted. Like, have you guys ever been in a place where you're just like, I saw something, I encountered something, and I'm not really sure what to think about what I just saw or went through. That's how I am right now. I'm still trying to put the pieces together, but I'm just not totally sure how to feel about everything. So I'm just taking time. I'm taking quiet time. I'm like, I don't want to go out. My husband's like, our friends invited us to this, we should go to this. And I was like, I just need like quiet space, like I just need quiet time, peace away from everybody else and with the Lord to process what I saw, and then also like process why I was able to have this opportunity. What should I be doing here, Lord? Of course, I'm going to be praying. And of course, I'm going to be, taking a lot of the things that I learned from the communities. But what else? Is there anything else I could be doing? Like, what else can happen between the time that I'm here and then the time that I go back again? So I'm just trying to figure that out right now. Now that I'm done with that toner, I'm going in with Paula's Choice. This is called Exfoliate. This is the 2% BHA liquid exfoliant for my face breaking out. So I'm doing that. On the other hand, I'm sick. And basically the list of things that the doctor told me I can get, the blessing here, which is another thing that's just so different from some other countries, is that they have the medicine to cure it. Whatever it is, they've got a list of things they think it is. Virals, it could be parasitic, it could be a lot of stuff. At first I thought it was food poisoning, but doesn't seem like that's the case. But the doctor reassured me, you know, whichever it is of this list of things we have the cure for it. You can get a shot, you can take medication, and you'll be fine. So just thinking about that is extremely incredible. One thing that I experienced during this trip that I didn't expect to experience was attending a funeral of one of the village members. And that was just a lot. It was a lot to go in and like console people that I had just met a day ago. And this was like 2 days into our trip. So we got there and our first like trip was Thursday, and then Friday we attended the funeral. So it was just a lot to take in. I just really hurt for them. When I got to know them, they shared like really cool things about us, and it was nice to see that we're similar, you know, like this girl had a crush on this guy, but this guy didn't like her back, and this guy has a crush on this girl, and like, so like they have so many similarities to us, but they're experiencing life in a different way that we are. But to do that was just really hard. It was really hard to attend that funeral, and it was a lady that had just passed, and she had been sick for a long time, and a lot of people that we encountered, the sicknesses that they were dealing with were things that were curable, or with medication could be taken care of. But when you're only making a few dollars a day, maybe you don't have the money to pay for half of that stuff. You don't have the money to do any of that. So it really made me sad, you know, to know that basic things, you know, like I have a headache and I could just go buy Motrin anytime I feel like it, you know, or like I could go to a clinic and probably get it for free if I'm in a worse situation. And they couldn't. So yeah, that was hard. I'm going to use the Super C vitamin serum after doing this exfoliation on my face. So, yeah, it was just thinking about a lot of things that I felt were like total necessities in my life. Things that I felt like, oh my God, it's so necessary for me to get A, B, and C. It's so necessary for me to have the latest this, or, you know, the latest that. And now I'm just thinking like, I have so many things that are just unnecessary. It really just makes you take a look at yourself. So now being here, I'm just trying to process everything, you know, like obviously I don't want to be ungrateful for what God has given me, but I just want to be a better steward. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for me, is that I just, now that I know that I can be better and I can physically see what it looks like to be in this situation, I physically want to do something. And even if I can't do everything, I could do my part, at least in the kingdom of God, by being a better steward over what God has given me, being more grateful for the things that I have, you know, even in situations where I don't get what I want, you know, it's just, I think my outlook is just very different now. So yeah, the trip was so enlightening. It was a wonderful experience. To do it with my husband was extremely incredible. So I'm just processing, you guys. I write a lot, and I actually wrote in my journal. So if you guys are interested in like keeping up with what I wrote in my journal, what I'm talking about there, then you can go check that out. It's www.sincerelyjasmine.org, and you can go to spiritual posts, and it should be the most recent one right now as I'm updating things. Okay, so I just added this intensive repair cream with retinol, which requires that I wear sunscreen. So I'm going to let this soak into my skin, and I'm just going to kind of like keep chatting with you guys about my trip. Also, I'm going to throw on my glasses. So my job recently gave a lot of us blue light glasses and I wasn't able to get them, so I was able to order my own. And basically, if you sit in front of a computer 24/7, first world problems, right? So sit in front of a computer 24/7, like a lot of us do, you can cause damage to your eyes. Looking at your phone cause damage to your eyes, dizziness, headaches, etc. I was experiencing a lot of dizziness and headaches. So I did get some. I got two really cute pair. The first pair I got are these like gold kind of, they almost kind of angled, and I think these are called Songbird. I'll leave the information in the description below, and I did have a discount code, so I'll share that with you guys too, for these really cute blue light glasses. Can you see? They're so cute, so I'm like really obsessed with them. And then I have an everyday pair, and these, you guys, they're so dirty. I don't know what I've been doing in these, but now I wear them 24/7 when I'm using my phone, when I'm on the computer. Sometimes just day to day, I pretty much wear these all the time now because they're awesome. And then these are my everydays, and they are my favorite. They're just so cute. They're like a perfect neutral tone. Again, like a cute little pointed shape to match the shape of my face. I got these. My husband basically has kidnapped these, so he wears these most of the time. But just really cute. Protect your eyes. Protect what you have. Take care of it. Take care of every little thing that you have. So I've been really intentional about taking care of my eyes, my skin, my health, etc. I'm going to use my Supergoop Everyday Sunscreen on my face. This is an SPF 50. And I like this because it dries clear, which is awesome. As you can see, I got a nice little tan while I was there. And you guys are probably going to say, Jasmine, why didn't you just wear sunscreen? I did. It was just extremely hot, and I didn't wear a hat. So with the products that I've been using retinol, vitamin C, etc., and then I got there and I had a lot of direct sunlight. No matter how much sunscreen I got, I still ended up getting a tan. So here we are. I've arrived at my summer bronze a few months early, which is all right with me. I'm glowing a little bit. Okay, so because this does not hold extremely well, I do use a little bit of this prosthetic glue. I learned this from Alyssa Ashley, actually. Use a very small amount. It's Ben Nye's prosthetic glue. Obviously, it's for prosthetics. But if you use a really light-handed amount, you should be able to like wash it on and off with water and soap. One thing I love about this is that it makes my brows waterproof and they don't move. And also in the areas where like I don't have much brow, it kind of builds up a little bit. So when I go in and make like brow strokes, everything looks really good. I actually wore this on the beach. We had a beach day there. So we got to go out to the beach, which was extremely beautiful. And I wore this brow gel on the beach. And when I tell you my brows did not move, I used a little bit more, but my brows stayed right in place. Okay, got my glasses on. All right. So many of you guys have asked me if it was something that I would recommend to you. Would I recommend you doing missions and going on a mission trip? The answer is yes. I would definitely always encourage each and every American who has the opportunity to get out of America and go see other countries, go see other people, see how they live, see how they experience life, especially just kind of in this day and age where we take our news from wherever we want to take our news, when we, only follow people that we like. We don't really experience life through others' eyes except for, social media version. I think it's really cool to get out and about and to just learn more about the world. The world is so huge. It's so much bigger than just the United States. So I would always encourage someone to get out and about. Secondly, I would say as far as missions for me and being my first actual mission trip, it changed a lot for me. I think I grew more in the situation because I was able to see so much. And I think growth a lot of the times comes with pain, and that there are growing pains in the process of growth. There are things that you have to see and experience in order to promote growth. And in that time where I saw those people that we all know go through tremendous hardships, they had such great faith. They trusted and really believed in God. They depended on Him for every little thing. And in so many ways, I just felt really convicted about my own faith and trust in God, because I knew it might be a little more westernized. I knew that the way that I saw God was probably a little different from the way that they see God, because I don't live day to day where I need to depend on Him, where I have to depend on God, where He is my end all be all. But regardless of whether I live like that or not, it should still be that way. God should still be, my top priority. I should ask Him every time I make a decision. I should be depending on Him daily, for my daily bread. Not just physical bread, that's the problem that a lot of us have, but our spiritual bread, our soul food, those things I should be depending on God for. And to be honest, living in the society that we live in, with so many resources, I think that's a lot of Christians' struggle, is really trusting and depending on God when there's so many physical resources around. So we tend to, and I guess I will say I or others like me, have opted to get physical resources while our soul and our spirits are not being fed, they're not being nourished, they're not being tended to. So just coming in contact with those people was just such a huge blessing for me, because I was able to look at my faith in a different lens. And I really felt like I was able to look at my faith the way that God looks at it, and realize that it wasn't as strong as I originally thought that it was. And so that just showed me that I've got a lot of work to do. I've got a lot of growth to do. Although I've grown a lot, there's just so much deeper I want to go. And I want to make my relationship with God so much stronger. So the trip was super enlightening. It was such a blessing. And I'm going to make a video, you guys. I'm honestly struggling to get through this video right now. It's just, I have moments where I'm like, I have energy and I'm good to go. And then I start to feel really sick and nauseous again. And I get dizzy, and I know it's time for me to lay down. So right about now is that time for me to lay down again. But I am going to continue to share about it as much as you guys want to hear about it. I'm also going to get my husband, and we're going to sit down and talk about why we decided to do a mission trip, why we feel that missions is our calling, where we'll go from here. And I think we'll do that on our Growing Gans channel, because we haven't posted there in a really long time. So we're going to do that. But I just wanted to update you guys, also show you some skincare that I'm working on right now, because I'm having issues with my gut. All of you healthcare people out there know that if you have internal issues with your stomach, your digestion, your gut, if you can't keep things down, it's going to trickle out to the largest organ of your body, which is your skin. So my skin is going absolutely insane right now, while my body kind of figures itself out and we wait on the doctor's information. So I've been opting for Paula's Choice just to kind of help with the breakouts that I'm getting, and also to help with the pigmentation, the dark spots, and little puffiness, redness here or there. So that's why I opted for Paula's Choice. I really love this brand so far. I've been enjoying using it, and I will continue. But I'll be sure to follow up with a sunscreen and some type of protection over my face, so that I don't do the reverse effects of what I'm really trying to do, right? So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed checking in with me. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and just saying, how was your mission trip? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. On Instagram, I got so many positive messages, and Facebook. So thank you guys so much for praying for us throughout our trip and caring about our safe return. So we are back home, and we are excited to do some really great things with the direction of the Lord, and we're excited to take you guys along with us. So until then, we will see you guys in our next video. Love you so much, and have a blessed day. Bye.